It's not even 10 o'clock yet, and I didn't use the gavel, and everyone is just seated. So I'm going to tell the chief that you all did this on your own, and I didn't even have to use his gavel. So, Cynthia, do you think do we have folks we should be waiting for, or do you think we can get started? Because we want to make sure that if the folks need their 3 minutes, that we can give it to them. Do we look like we have everybody?
I think so.
Okay.
We're missing a couple people, but we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
They'll catch up.
Well, the beginning is always a little perfunctory, so Bob, I know you're listening, and feel free to please start recording if you're not already. We are so glad you're here today. Welcome to Judicial Council. I am Sarah Warren. I'm our presiding justice, and I'm stepping in today for the chief who's unable to be with us. Please, a couple of reminders for those of you who have been here many times, you know all of these things, but for our friends who are new, please make sure you're speaking into the microphones when you want to be heard. And if you don't want to be heard, please do not speak into the microphones. They're very sensitive, so whatever you tell your neighbor, the microphones might be hearing too. You can access the full materials in the packet at the link that's at the top of our agenda, and I think it might be up on one of these slides. The printed copies of action item materials are provided. If you're a guest, please make sure that you signed in. Email rsvp@georgiacourts.gov so we can have a record for our minutes. Our meeting is being recorded, both audio and visual, live streamed, and it's open to the press and the public. And during voting items, we're going to call for opposition only. We have a few members who are not able to attend today. They have designees that we'll recognize later, but we do want to recognize some special guests. We have from the Senate Budget and Evaluation Office, Brent Churchwell. Brent, can you give us a wave? Great to see you. And Anne Marie Hanna, a budget analyst, and you are new, right? We are very glad you're here. We appreciate all of your help and your work. And I see we still have some folks rolling in. Y'all come on in. Everyone was so ready we started, but feel free to come grab your seats. We are going to start today by administering the oath to our new members. This is going to be an en masse oath, and so we'll ask you to stand at your seats. You do not need to come up to the podium. So if we could have Chief Judge Travis Sackerson, the 6th Judicial Administrative District, stand up. Judge Jay Stewart from the Council of Superior Court Judges. Judge Eric Richardson, stand up, please. Chief Judge Allison Toller. Judge Joshua Suggs. Chief Judge Scott Lewis. Judge Pamela Bowles, and Mr. Bill Gentry from the State Bar of Georgia. So this is the kind of oath where you hold your hand up, I say it, and then you say I do at the end, so you don't have to repeat all the words. I do swear or affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent on me as a member of the Judicial Council of Georgia, according to the best of my ability and understanding, that as a member of the Judicial Council, I will endeavor to improve the administration of justice for this state, for the benefit of the public, as well as the bench and bar, that I will strive to improve the judicial system of this state as a whole, as well as in its parts, and that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the Constitution of the State of Georgia, so help me God. If you agree to this oath, please say I do.
I do.
Congratulations, and thank you for joining Judicial Council. All right, I know a number of you have already sort of checked in by glancing over at Cynthia Clanton. She's going to do a roll call for any other members that we need to discern.
Just indulge me, it's my last name. Justice Bethel.
Here.
Chief Judge Brown.
I'm here.
Vice Chief Gomil.
Here.
Judge Hamrick.
Here.
I snuck in. Chief Judge O'Connell.
Here.
Judge Hightower.
Here.
Judge Stewart.
Here.
Judge Hubie.
Here.
Chief Judge Ernest.
Here.
Judge Godfrey.
Here.
Chief Judge Morris.
Here.
Chief Judge Glanville.
Here.
Chief Judge Sackerson.
Here.
Welcome. Chief Judge Nedrak.
Here.
Chief Judge Hughes.
Here.
Chief Judge Deal.
Here.
Chief Judge Jolly.
Here.
Judge Jason Thompson.
Good morning.
We are glad to have you. Judge Eric Richardson.
Here.
Judge McCracken Poston will not be here this morning. His courthouse flooded, And so he's dealing with some flood, in Ringgold. So, but we have Judge Allison Toller. She's going to take up room for two. We're really glad to have you here, Judge Toller. Thank you. Welcome. Judge Walters Lane.
I'm here.
Judge Scuggs.
Here.
Chief Judge Rhodes.
Here.
There you are. Chief Judge Lewis.
Here.
Chief Judge Quadro.
Present.
Judge Bowles.
Present.
And the President of the State Bar of Georgia, Bill Gentry.
Here.
Great. We've got a quorum and we can proceed.
Thank you, Cynthia. I am really pleased to call on Chief Judge Quadro to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. We will move to our first action item, which is approval of the minutes. This is of the April 17th, 2026 general session. Are there any corrections to those minutes? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any opposition? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. All right, we will move on to the Judicial Council Committee reports. If you'll indulge me so I can find my own notes for the first one. I will report out on the Legislation Committee. So this committee met by Zoom on August 11th. And when we meet at this time of year as a legislative committee, it's really intended to be a high-level meeting where we get everybody together and check in well before the legislative session starts. And when we start to kind of get together in the new committee year to make sure that we're all touching base and communicating. What we talked about primarily was 2027 and how it will not only be the first year of a new legislative biennium, but it will also bring about changes in both the executive and legislative branches. Of course, there are things that we don't know, and so we can only plan for what we can plan for, but that's something that we have in mind going forward. We also talked about that we're going to keep in line with the vision that Chief Justice Peterson articulated to us last year. It's something that will carry over this year, which is that we're encouraging councils, including the Judicial Council as a whole, to hold off on leading new initiatives as much as possible. And particularly those that are complicated or not time sensitive or not urgent because of things that may have changed. Those are things that we're generally trying not to pursue at this time. But we also want everyone to continue sharing information. Let's make sure we're all talking to each other, bringing ideas, concerns, concepts to each other when it comes to legislative initiatives. It's really important to work through that Judicial Council process, to work through this legislative committee and the representatives on the committee. Things that may seem like they're only affecting one class of court can affect other classes of court, and so that communication is really paramount. We want to speak with one voice and coordinate as much as we can as the judicial branch. We do anticipate holding one more of these meetings before the end of the year. And if you have any questions about what's going on in the committee or whether there's something that should be discussed at one of these legislative committee meetings, please reach out to Tracy or to me, and we're happy to talk to you. All right, we'll move on to the Budget Committee with Justice Bethel.
Thank you, Presiding Justice. It is my pleasure to present a report on behalf of your standing committee on the budget. It is my custom to run through the requests and then present the two motions on behalf of the committee for your consideration. I will obviously adjust if anybody has questions or if you need to stop me along the way. I will start with the requests related to the amended fiscal year 27 budget. The extended information is behind tab 2 in your pre-circulated materials, and so I will just list the items. If you have questions about them, we'll obviously address them as long as you need us to. So in the amended budget, the Georgia Office of Dispute Resolution has requested an enhancement request of $39,000 to fully fund Schedule ADR case management system, While exploring integration into the Gavel statewide case management system in fiscal year 2028, the reason I flagged that for you is for those of you who know how the state budget works, we do not have a request in the fiscal year 28 in hopes that this system will be integrated into case management. So you see it here, but won't see it in the fiscal year 28 request. Another one, and I do want to thank the budget team, Mr. Zoll and his folks, as well as Mr. Luke for this. It's always nice to request a reduction. It's always popular across the street. The administrative office of the courts has requested essentially what amounts to a reduction because we're going to use existing resources that are dedicated to the court CPRS, court process reporting system, in the case management system will provide that service for us, so we will be able to request a reduction in the amount of $90,208 in the amended budget, and that will carry forward for us as well. The Council of Municipal Court Judges is requesting $3,000 related to operations. This is mainly travel and meeting expenses associated with their officers attending various meetings around the state. The Georgia Resource Center has submitted a request for the enhancement of $31,000, which is $31,250, which is a prorated amount to offset some staffing demands that they have. This is a request that this body has approved in the past, but was not fully funded in the legislative process. That would represent for us a net reduction in the amended fiscal budget of $16,958. Turning to the items in the fiscal 28 budget, again, reminding everybody that starts on July 1 of 27. The Administrative Office of the Courts has requested the same CPRS offset, and so that will actually reduce our request related to the CMS or the Gavel project, and it would represent a $404,867 increase. You'll remember that because of the timing of the federal dollars that funded the creation of CMS, we're stepping in our cost in 2 fiscal years, and so that's the balance of funding the staffing there. Then a new request to us, the Criminal Data Exchange Board submitted a request for $147,782. That is the net cost, in other words, all fringe and associated costs for an individual full-time staff position. Those of you who have been working with Criminal Case Data Exchange Board know that it has been a 100% volunteer-driven initiative, and so rather than relying exclusively on the goodwill and efforts of everybody involved, this would allow us to have a coordinator position there. The Judicial Council Administrative Office of the Courts has requested $250,000 for a pilot project to provide jail-based pretrial psychological evaluations. This is in coordination with the medical schools, and those of you who know how challenging it can be to get mental health evaluations for folks who are being detained will recognize this is a first step initiative. It is being built, and so this is a request for a pilot initiative there. Council of Municipal Court Judges, extending on the request that was in the amended, are seeking $19,000 for operations. This is also related to travel and meeting related expenses for their leadership. And then again, the same request for the Georgia Resource Center. This is $125,000 for staffing related expenses. Again, this is an initiative that this body has supported in the past but didn't receive funding across the street. Presiding Justice, the net of that is $946,649 in the what we call the big budget across the street, and that would result in an increase from $28,918,289 to $29,864,938, and that would be a 3.37% increase in our Judicial Council's budget. I generally present this on behalf of the committee in the form of 2 motions. You want me to give them both, or do you want me
Let's
to
do
give
the
them one at a
first
time?
motion
All right.
first, and I'll call for any discussion of the recommendation for the amended 27 and the fiscal year 20 budget recommendations as Justice Bethel articulated. Any discussion?
You want me to make that first motion then for both budgets together? So on behalf of the committee, my motion would be that we move approval to submit the fiscal year 27 amended budget with a net reduction of $16,958, which will result in a total budget of $28,901,331, and the fiscal year 28 enhancement request of $946,649, which will result in a total budget of $29,864,938.
Thank you for that motion. Any discussion? Any opposition? Seeing none, the motion is approved. And you do have a second motion,
I
right?
do have a second motion. Thank you, PJ. This is a normal or an annual motion that we make. The Standing Committee on Budget requests approval to make decisions or take positions on budgetary items and related policy issues on behalf of the Judicial Council during the 2027 legislative session when time constraints prevent the convening of the Judicial Council. This request was also made for any special session of the General Assembly that may be called during the balance of this calendar year.
Very good. Any discussion of the motion? Any opposition? Seeing none, it is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Bethel. We'll move on to the Technology Committee with Judge Kelly.
Good morning. The Technology Committee met on July the 23rd. We've had some really good meetings and hearing all the different committees. Two things I want to focus in on this morning, just to kind of again bring your attention to, and this last one to kind of put on your radar. I know everybody has AI on their radar, are probably very tired of it. We do have an AI subcommittee because it changes so fast. We have an AI subcommittee that reports to us, and just its primary purpose is really education of our judiciary. And we have a website that's AOC has set up for us so we can put on different tools for judges and best practices, and that's going to be continuously developed. I think a lot of times, you look back over the last 150 years, and if you're a history person, when trains came about, the public were pretty upset, were pretty concerned about trains. And then cars came about, and they were upset about cars, and then, radio and television. The internet was going to destroy everything, and now we have AI. So we'll get through it just like we got through everything else. But we do have to stay diligent on it and make sure that it's a tool that will make us better judges and a better judiciary. And that's the purpose of that. And if you're interested in that, please contact Ben Luke. He'll put you in touch with Judge Morris, who chairs that committee. It's very important we have good feedback and good committee members on there with that. A lot of people we hear about, fake citations and legal research. Honestly, I think that as AI develops, we're going to see the most important portions for a judiciary. One of the most important things will be data management. And we hear about data, the CDX committee. All these parts are going to come together. AI is kind of a glue that will help pull all this together. And some of the things that we have demoed and looked at just will make, if I'm a judge and I come on and I get on my case management system and I have 4 motions for summary judgment. Well, if it's already read all the depositions and all the briefs and everything, and I've been involved in a murder case, it can give me a quick synopsis before I go out on the bench of what's out there. A lot of little powerful things like that will make us a more efficient judge and a better judiciary, I think. So it's exciting to keep that. But I want to kind of go a little bit more low tech right now. It's not always about the AI. AOC has some problems to develop with backing up our servers in our courtrooms. We've had all the committees on court reporters and some of the new rules about backup. Well, lo and behold, in my circuit, we have one county that has a pretty decent IT department. They read the rules of us, the judge's responsibility for backing up, so they stopped backing up our courtrooms. But they didn't tell us about that they had stopped backing up. So 6 months later, we found out they had never the computers got full and we had no backups.
Oh my.
My rural counties have 5 counties, so rural counties have no IT department. And so who goes and checks to see if they're being backed up properly. And so with 159 counties, other counties had this problem, and AOC stepped up to the plate and wrote a program that's a cloud-based court reporter backup. Is being tested in which district is Bob's? The 8th district is being implemented right now. So if you have that problem and a lot of rule, it's a simple solution that it backs it up to the cloud, and then AOC makes sure it's backed up 2 more times across the country, so it'll always be there. Low cost, and the data is kind of under our control. So that's exciting. Keep your eyes open and ears for that. If you have a need for it, please contact Ben. That's my report.
Thank you so much, Judge Kelly. We appreciate it. All right, Judge Leonard's going to talk to us about Judicial Workload Assessment Committee, JWAC. And Stephanie Hines.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, everybody's favorite part of the show, right? So we've got 4 action items today. We're going to take them in order. First, coming from our committee are some policy language updates, and so if you could flip the slide forward, I'll run you through those. That's kind of small, but this is in your written materials. One update to that, though. This is in section 2.1, paragraph 2, last sentence. Basically, what it does is it modifies that limiting language on when we conduct a judicial workload assessment or a circuit boundary study. When we started doing this, it was a lot more labor intensive to do. But now I will tell you that we've got good staff, and we can conduct a judicial workload assessment for a circuit after that date. And so what I've done is just change the language there. It really limits that hard deadline to circuit boundary studies, which still are very labor intensive and a lot of work. But it restores discretion to basically me as the chair in conjunction with the chief to say, you know what, this request came in from this circuit, it came in after that date, but we can still accommodate it and get it in before our JWAC meeting. It would allow us to be able to do that. So that's all that first change does. The third paragraph is an update to the policy, just basically to have it reflect what this body has already been doing. You all know that, well, those of you that are new don't know this, but there used to be like a re-ranking that would go on after it would come from the committee, then it would get voted by secret ballot here and ranked in whatever order. Basically, all that has gone away. I'm just trying to go with the objective numbers. It's the judicial workload value per judge for that circuit. So that just is a reflection of what this body is already doing, cleans up that language. So that is the first motion of the committee that I don't believe requires a second. And so, PJ, I'll turn it over to you on that.
All right, so Judge Leonard has moved for this clarifying language. Is there any discussion? Is there any opposition? All right, hearing none, that is approved.
Okay, second action item are the actual new judgeship requests. So I'll let Stephanie talk about those. There are 5 circuits requesting judgeships.
Good morning, everyone. As Judge Leonard just mentioned, I will be presenting the 2026 new judgeship requests recommended by the Standing Committee on Judicial Workload Assessment that were reviewed and approved, or recommended at our July 10th meeting. Next slide, okay. The Office of Research and Data Analysis has conducted workload assessments using the 2025 caseload data for the following 5 circuits displayed on the screen. I will go through each judicial workload value per judge. That is the value that determines if a circuit meets the 1.20 threshold, which qualifies them for a judgeship. Also, we will look at the simulated judicial workload value per judge, and this is basically a mixed statistical prediction just to see what that workload value per judge may look like with the addition of a new judge. Up first is the Alcovey circuit with a JWV per judge of 1.25. Their current number of judges, there are 5 judges on that in that circuit, and the last judgeship was received in 2009. Next slide. The Cherokee Judicial Circuit is located in the 7th District and is comprised of 2 counties, Bartow and Gordon counties, and it has a judicial workload value per judge of 1.42, with 4 judges currently sitting on the bench in that circuit, and they received their last judgeship in 2006. The Clayton Judicial Circuit, located in the 6th District. Clayton Judicial Circuit is a 1-county circuit. Its current workload value per judge is 1.37, and there are 5 judges in that circuit. They last received a judgeship in 2017. The DeKalb Judicial Circuit, also a single county circuit. Their workload value per judge is a 1.35, and there are 10 judges in that circuit, and they last received their judgeship in 1998. And they're located in the 4th District. And our last request comes from the Griffin Judicial Circuit, located in the 6th JD, and it is comprised of 4 counties, Fayette, Pike, Spalding, and Upson. Their judicial workload value per judge is 1.27, and there are 5 judges, so they are asking for an additional 6th judge, and their last judgeship was received in 2020. If there are no questions, I will pause and let Judge Leonard present the motion.
So the committee then has approved or recommended these to you all, and it's a motion from the committee that doesn't require a second. So the motion would be to approve all 5 of those requests. And so, PJ.
All right, hearing the motion from Judge Leonard, do we have any discussion about the committee's recommendations? Do we have any opposition? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
All right, if we can just advance the slides forward a little bit. So we've got some slides on here to try to just highlight a couple of things. Atlanta has previously qualified. Their qualification runs, all of these run for 3 years. For those of you that just got an approval, it'll be for a 3-year period. So Atlanta still qualifies, and that is their workload value. Just one note on that simulated workload value that Stephanie touched on. That is something that we have added to just try to forecast where the caseloads look like they're headed. And you will notice, and I'll just point this out because Chief Judge Glanville's here and others. You'll see that if you give that circuit a judgeship, they would still qualify. They'd be a 1.23. Same thing for DeKalb. So it really is a reflection, like if a 1.0 is kind of like where we think everybody ought to be. That's how hard a judge ought to be working. By the time you get to a 1.2, and what qualifies you for a new judgeship, in theory, every judge in that circuit is about 20% overworked over what they can really handle. And so, for DeKalb and for Atlanta, a new judgeship doesn't give them the same sort of relief in terms of bringing that number all the way down like it would in a 4-judge circuit just because of their size. So I want to point that out to you. I'll be very transparent about that. And so let's move on over to the next slide, please.
And
These are the
Judge, may I pause for just a second?
Yes.
So that means, given the recommendation from the committee that was approved, the full list would be the 5 that were just approved, plus the 1 carryover.
Plus.
And when it's submitted to the governor's office, that's in order of workload
That's right.
value, correct?
That's right. They'll all be there on the list.
And that's policy, is to do it in that way.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
These are the 3 circuits at the top that got judgeships approved this last legislative session. The ones listed at the bottom, the Atlanta and Clayton circuits, got approved, but subject to appropriations. I do not know if those circuits are going to seek a new bill or whether they're going to stand on the one that's already passed. That's something for them to decide, and the policymakers down at the General Assembly. So, but I'll highlight that for everybody here. Next slide. That's the overview. There's the 5 that you all just approved on the right, and the carryover circuit on the left, and I think they're all listed on the next slide as well in order. That's the one that everybody wants to take out their phone and take the photo of, like Shawndina is doing. Okay. Are there any questions on any of that? All right. Great. We already did the votes. We can go forward. All right. Next action item, the statistical guide for case counting. There's a couple of updates in there. This is the document that goes out to clerks of courts and helps them get their case counts together and report data the way that it needs to. So there are some definition changes in there. It's all in the written materials. Probably the most important. Can you back up one slide for me? Let me just see if that's the right one. No, go forward. I went the wrong direction. One more. All right, so there's some cleanup language there at the top. So our serious felonies, they used to all be in right there in the statute. Over the years, we have added some offenses that aren't in 1710.6.1, and so put some clarifying language in at the top. 1651 murder now also, it's for a long time, is now included in that statute. There's a murder in the second. That's the murder that comes from a cruelty in the second, irrespective of malice. And so it's been added since it did say 1651, but the clerks in our definitions only had murder, malice murder, and felony murder. So we added murder in the second there. The other 2 changes in there that are noteworthy are going to be the addition of the Gang Act stuff. So these are cases that we're seeing, particularly long indictments, and we had tried to previously capture that in RICO, but the state is now indicting them more in this manner. And so just to give you an example, I probably got 5 or 6 of these. There'll be 10 defendant cases with 37 counts. Like, I literally could not read the indictment in the amount of time that it takes to in the minute value credit that you get for caseload reporting on a felony. So the committee agreed, let's take the Gang Act stuff, move that into the serious felony land for clerks. We give them a 1-year lead time, to do, system updates to include those new crimes that get added into the serious felony land. But we felt like that was appropriate. The other language that you see in there is just cleaning up statutory stuff, make it easier to read, and correcting a couple of statutes that had been amended. So giving the proper code sections in there. So that's really the high-level version of those updates. That's a motion from the committee, doesn't require a second.
All right, so we've heard the recommendation and the motion from the committee. Is there any discussion? Any opposition? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Okay, action item number 4. These are the forms, case initiation forms and case disposition forms. 911.3 and 911.33 provide that this body shall promulgate forms in conjunction with the Supreme Court for initiation of cases and disposition of cases. We've updated a couple of definitions. And if you'll just advance the slide 1, we have split out declaratory judgment to give its own category. It had been previously lumped in with some of that other equitable relief. And malpractice, it used to be medical malpractice. We have generalized that a little bit more, so it's now just malpractice tort. So we now cover legal malpractice, dental, chiropractic, all of those sorts of things. So malpractice tort. On the case disposition form, one more slide. It used to just say, in terms of the dispositions, it didn't have ADR and it didn't have dismissal, so just non-trial dispositions. We just kind of broke that out. Some case management systems can report this data already. Gavel will report this data, and we would like to have better data to try to track how many cases are getting resolved through ADR versus through trial. It'll help with decisions later on, better data. So another motion from the committee that doesn't require a second.
Very good. Any discussion of the motion? Any opposition? Hearing none, it is approved.
Okay, all right, that's it for JWAC.
Thank you, Judge Leonard. You'll stay at the podium.
I'll stay.
Next
Ben,
item.
come up.
Stephanie, thank you for your help on that. All right, so we'll move to E, which is our case management system. We have Judge Leonard staying at the podium with an assist from Ben Luke.
On this one, it is sometimes better to remain silent and be thought a fool rather than speak and remove all doubt. I'm gonna let Ben give the update for you all on this one. Go ahead.
That's very kind of you, Judge Leonard. Good morning. Happy to report that gavel is no longer an idea. The times we've come before you, we've talked about how gavel would be and what would happen. Gavel is alive and well in 4th South Georgia courts right now, and we're targeting 30 in the early fall and near 200 by the end of calendar year 2026, an ambitious but achievable goal. Somewhat serendipitously, one of the first actions captured in gavel, or the first action captured in gavel, was a birth certificate. So on the day gavel became alive, so did somebody else. We are on track, we are on budget, we continue to make excellent progress towards onboarding our other courts and demonstrating value. The rest of this year is going to be onboarding those MVP courts and additional feature development to support people who want to integrate in the future. With that, I'll entertain any questions, otherwise I'll yield back to Judge Leonard.
Any questions for Ben?
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks, y'all.
All right, thank you both. The next item is access to justice. I understand that's a written report only. Is that right? No one speaking for access to justice, just written? Okay. All right, for ARPA funding, which is item G, there is a written report included in the materials, but I do need to give the floor to Tracy to impart some very important messaging.
Thank you, Presiding Justice. I just want to reiterate, as reflected in the written report, and a reminder that the federal ARPA program will expire on December 31st of this year, and the performance period for the Judicial Council's CY26 awards expires on September 30th. All funds awarded for CY 2026 must be spent and invoiced by that date, September 30th, and all invoices for 2026 must be submitted for reimbursement by October 15th. That's a hard deadline. There will be no exceptions, and that just allows us to complete closeout and move forward before December 31st. So please feel free to reach out to me.
Did I hear you say
or
no exceptions?
No exceptions. So, and our team is in touch with the circuits, and we appreciate everyone's work to submit everything timely. And please feel free to reach out with any questions or needs as we move towards these deadlines.
Very good, thank you. Item 5H is the Grants Committee. That is also a written report in your materials. We have as number 6, the report from the Judicial Council. I would like to take a brief break, if you all would indulge me, and if you all could please be back in your seats at 10:45, we will let Cynthia resume her report, or begin her report then. So we'll see you back in your seats at 10:45.
Okay.
getting to our seats. Thank you for accommodating the break, and thank you for being back in your seats so that we can start this very important and special report from our fearless director, Cynthia Clanton.
Justices, judges, and judicial branch leaders, good morning. In June and July, we joined in America's 250th celebration by showcasing the U.S. flag at courthouses all over Georgia. Thank you to the many courts who sent us a picture for that series. Pictured here are just a few of the beautiful pictures we received. A special thank you to Juvenile Court Judge Cole and Judicial Council member Hubie, who were especially supportive of this effort. We love the picture of the Chatham County Juvenile Court and the courthouses of the Ogeechee Judicial Circuit. World Cup soccer matches held in Atlanta added to the festive atmosphere this summer. AOC staff members and I enjoyed wearing jersey of our favorite team on game days. Thought you'd enjoy these fun pictures. And congrats to any Spain soccer fans on the hard-fought win. We're doing our best keeping up with all the news from the Court of Appeals. Best wishes to presiding Judge Brian Rickman, who stepped down from the court in July for private practice. Congratulations to former Judicial Council member Judge Paige Reese Whitaker, who was sworn in to serve on the Court of Appeals on July 16th and has already been appointed to replace Justice Land as chair of the Judicial Council's Standing Committee on Court Reporting Matters. Congratulations as well to Judge Brian Epps, who was sworn in to serve the court on August 11th. The new tax court started accepting petitions on July 1st and hired our former colleague Angie Davis as its inaugural clerk. Congratulations, Clerk Davis. Many AOC staff members are working closely with Chief Judge O'Connell to support this new court, including our fiscal, budget, HR, IT, and communications team. Be sure to check out our 2 very informative articles on the tax court in the April and June editions of the Georgia Courts Journal. The Judicial Council AOC has published its annual summary of enacted legislation, a convenient reference providing summaries of bills and resolutions pertinent to Georgia judiciary passed during the 2026 session. It can be found on our website, www.georgiacourts.gov. A warm welcome to State Bar President Bill Gentry, who will serve for this coming year as a member of the Judicial Council. President Gentry was sworn in by Chief Justice Peterson at the State Bar meeting in June, which was widely attended by Georgia judges from every class of court. As usual, there was much good news out of the State Bar meeting, where Justice Ellington received the 2026 Tradition of Excellence Award from the State Bar's General Practice and Trial Law section. Senior Judge Willie Lockett was honored by the State Bar's Bench and Bar Committee with its Chief Justice Thomas Marshall Professionalism Award. Director of Judicial Protective Services Stan Cooper, no, not here today, received the 2026 Spirit of Justice Award from the State Bar's Judicial Section. Congratulations, well deserved, Stan. Supported by the AOC's Justice for Children team, Justice Charlie Bethel presented attorney Andrew Powell and DFAC's Social Services Specialist Keosha Pettigrew with the 2026 Hines Awards for Outstanding Advocacy for Children in Dependency Proceedings. Justice Verda Colvin chaired and the AOC Access to Justice team staffed the annual Diversity of Bars meeting during the State Bar meeting. And for those of you that don't know, this meeting was actually started a long time ago by Justice Benham. Senior Judge Ginsburg was recently recognized by his state court colleagues at a portrait unveiling in Chatham County. The AOC staff has presented at many judicial branch conferences and meetings over the last months, and it's always our pleasure to serve our judicial branch partners at events. By way of just one example, pictured here are attorney Joanna Deering and Kurt Bryan from our child support team, who presented on the child support calculator for stakeholders in the Atlantic and Ogeechee judicial circuits in late July. Thank you to Judge Diane Besson of the Fulton County State Court for speaking at our all-staff meeting in April via Zoom. And we greatly, greatly appreciate Judge Besson's continuing service on the Committee on Technology. State Employee Recognition Week was the first week of May. And to recognize that occasion, we took this all-staff meeting and all-staff picture and collected quotes from the AOC staff members, answering the question, why did you choose a career in public service? While we got many inspiring responses, I liked this one in particular. Public service is about more than holding a position. It is helping to ensure that institutions operate fairly, efficiently, and in a way that promotes trust and access for the communities they serve. I agree. I'd like to pause for a moment and recognize our AOC senior staff for their leadership in serving our dynamic judiciary. Deputy Director Tracy Mason, Budget Officer Andrew Zoll, Chief Technology Officer and Innovation Officer Ben Luke, Peterson David, our Chief Financial Officer, General Counsel Jessica Farah, and Division Directors Stephanie Hines and Noel Alvarez. They are extraordinary professionals who are committed to providing excellent services to the judiciary. On a daily basis, our AOC team executes the directives of this body and supports judges statewide. None of that would happen without their dedicated service. This is my last Judicial Council meeting as AOC Director before retiring in October, which is 41 days. I believe I have executed the charge Justice Thompson gave me as Director 11 years ago to restore the integrity of the AOC. I've done this by improving our communications with you and each other, increasing our collaborations with important partners like CJCC and accountability courts, and training the next generation of leaders at the AOC. During my 27 years with the AOC, I've served 10 Chief Justices, 6 directly, coordinated over 70 Judicial Council meetings, handed out countless baby bibs. Get them while they last, people. Get them while they last. And ensure the continuity of administrative services to all of you, despite a pandemic, budget cuts, sudden leader changes at every level of state government, and a cyber attack. All while I never lost sight of who we worked for, you, the members of the Judicial Council. I will miss all of you, the AOC staff, and innovative projects we've begun like Gavel. I will not miss the drive to downtown Atlanta each day. That is for sure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve. And now, for the very last time, I'd like to welcome the newest members of our Judicial Branch family. Here we have Cherokee County State Court Judge Dee Morris's adorable grandbaby. This is Gilmer County Probate Court Judge Chastain's 5th grandson, Warren Banks Hensley. Up next is our CFO, Peterson David's little niece, Nala. I mean, who is just angelic. He is adorable. This is Senior Superior Court Judge Van Pelt's 7th grandchild, Arlie. And Judge Van Pelt was one of the first Judicial Council members that I got to know way back when I was a brand new AOC director. Last Monday, I was able to meet little Arlie and her mother, Kathleen Van Pelt Davis, who is being sworn in by Governor Kemp as the new DA for the Lookout Circuit. DA Davis is the first legacy and woman DA for the circuit. And Judge Van Pelt, he was so proud, so proud. It's full circle. It was very special. And it's a fitting end to share baby bib photos with this extra special picture of Dawn Crew's first granddaughter, Lindley Grace Crew. Dawn works for Presiding Justice Warren and Chambers here at the Nathan Deal Judicial Center, and that is some kind of bow.
Yeah, sure is.
Some kind of bow. The AOC is a service agency for Georgia's judges and a statewide resource. We exist to serve you, the members of the Judicial Council. That's what we do. As always, please call on the AOC anytime to support the important work you do each day and the rule of law. Thank you. It has been a true honor to serve you.
Now, Cynthia and members. Cynthia, thank you so much for the report, for the personal touches that you always give to make our members and our judges across the state feel special. Please rest assured, folks, that this is not the only and last celebration that we'll have for Cynthia. On the September 22nd oral arguments in the Supreme Court, we will also be having a recognition for Cynthia. So if you want to tune in online or to join us in the courtroom for the September 22nd oral arguments, we'll be doing that then. We also right now actually have a video from the Chief Justice, who could not be with us today, but he is going to appear by video, not by hologram. I tried. He said no. But Bob, you can go ahead and roll this video.
Good morning, members of Judicial Council, Judicial Branch stakeholders, and guests. I am so sorry that I can't be there with you today. I really wish that I could. I'm grateful to the presiding justice for presiding in my absence. And I know that you all are doing very important work this morning, and thank you for your presence. I wanted to talk to you for a brief minute about Cynthia Clanton. As we all know, Cynthia has given a career of public service to the people of this state. She has provided exemplary service to judges, to lawyers, to the people of the state, to stakeholders across the judicial branch. So many people in this room today could line up and spend hours sharing stories about ways that Cynthia has served them and served the agencies and stakeholders that they represent in ways that have made life materially better for Georgians. If we all hope someday, when it comes time for us to retire, to be able to look back and have a legacy like the legacy that Cynthia Clanton has. I am so proud of the work, Cynthia, that you have done and the leadership that you have afforded to AOC and the judicial branch. Thank you. And because of this legacy that Cynthia is leaving, the best way that we can honor her legacy is to ensure that it continues. And that legacy has really put AOC on the right track for success. The mission, the vision, the focus that she has brought to AOC is a mission and a vision and a focus on customer service, on serving judges, on serving courts, on serving judicial branch stakeholders. That is the right mission, the right vision, and the right focus for AOC. And as we look ahead to identifying the next leader of the administrative office of the courts, we want someone who is going to continue that mission, that vision, and that focus on service. And so, to ensure that we continue that legacy that Cynthia is leaving, I'm going to appoint a small committee of Judicial Council members to begin by evaluating internal candidates, full-time employees of AOC. That committee will then come back to Judicial Council with one of two recommendations. Either they will come back and they will say, we have identified this candidate as qualified, and we recommend that Judicial Council consider them for the position of director. Or they'll come back and say, we've assessed internal candidates and we believe we should expand our search. And I will provide more information about that process in the days ahead, but that's the approach that we're going to take as we seek to ensure that Cynthia's legacy continues deep into the future. But at the end of the day, today is a day of celebration of Cynthia Clanton. Cynthia, you can be proud and confident in your knowledge that you leave the state of Georgia a better place than you found it. The work that you have done, not just at AOC, but at the state bar and in all the other areas that you have served across your career, you have left the judicial system of the state of Georgia stronger than you found it. What you have done for the rule of law in this state is something any of us would be proud to look back on at the end of our career and say, I did that. Well, Cynthia, you did that. Thank you. We love you. We're proud of you, and we're grateful for you.
Two standing ovations and may be a Judicial Council record. But that is how much we care about you and appreciate the work you've done supporting us, Cynthia. Thank you. All right, tough to follow that, but we are going to move on to reports from the courts, councils, and state bar. And I'm just going to stand on the written report of the Supreme Court. So I will pass it over to Chief Judge Brown on the Court of Appeals.
Nothing to add, Presiding Justice.
Thank you, Chief Judge. Statewide Business Court, Judge Hamrick.
We'll rely on the written report.
Very good. Georgia Tax Court, Chief Judge O'Connell.
I'd like to rely on my written report, but also take the opportunity to thank my fellow judges for their support. As the tax court has started up, I've sought out the counsel of Chief Justice Nels Peterson. He's been always available when I've needed his counsel. And thank you, Cynthia and the AOC. Your customer service has been fabulous. And I can't imagine starting the court without the support of you and your group. Thank you.
Thank you. Council of Superior Court Judges, Judge Hightower.
We'll stand on our report.
Very good. Council of State Court Judges, Judge Eric Richardson.
We'll stand on our written report.
Very good. Council of Juvenile Court Judges, and Judge Poston is not here today. Does he have a designation? Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Hi, Judge Toller for Juvenile Court. I'll stand on the written report, but add that the Juvenile Court judges testified at the SR 622 committee hearing last week, and think that went over well. There's 2 more meetings, and we're excited to continue to collaborate.
Thank you, Judge Toller. Council of Probate Court Judges, Judge Patty Walters-Lane.
We'll stand on our written report. Thank you.
Very good. Council of Magistrate Court Judges, that's Chief Judge Sean Rhodes.
We'll stand on our report as well.
Thank you. Council of Municipal Court Judges, Judge Quadro.
I hate to buck the trend here.
It's got to be someone.
Presiding Justice and members of the council, I just want to tell you that, as most of you know, we joined the Executive Council in 2012, and hopefully we hit the ground running, and we're excited to continue to grow with this council. It's an honor for Judge Bowles and myself to represent approximately 368 courts and 380 municipal court judges who in 2025 handled 5.8 million cases. As you know, most of us are full-time attorneys, part-time judges, and obviously with Mr. Gentry, we kind of go hand in hand in a lot of what we do. We handle more than just traffic citations. We do first appearance hearings, revocation hearing, bond issues, search warrants, permit violations, animal control. We deal with all the law, and we actually help out in certain cases with state court functions. In June of 2026, we were sworn in by Pastor Chuck Allen with the Sugar Hill Church, and Representative Matt Reeves served as our guest speaker at the business meeting. And just to hit some highlights of what we're doing, we've started, as of July 1st, our senior judge bill passed, and we've started the process of identifying and placing our newest senior judges. In the midst of all this, we have got a mentorship program, and we're setting up a website to identify and pair both mentor and mentee judges, part of what we're asking for in the budget. With both the senior judge and mentorship programs, I would like to personally thank LaShawn Murphy, Tracy Mason, and the AOC staff, especially under Director Klein, who's been an incredible person. And her leadership has actually helped us all in our endeavors. I can't say enough about you, and I thank you very much. We're identifying issues and sources for our courts. As you know, we're the first court that most people see. And with that, we're trying to assist and identify resources for mental health, veteran, homeless issues, drug, alcohol issues, things that you guys see in your accountability courts. And we've appointed our immediate past president, Robert Cowan, to deal with this. We mobilized our district representative to meet monthly, start judicial education networking activities. Also, with the case management system that Ben Luke is doing, we're looking to be part of that case management system, and we're trying to create a unification process where we all have, when you walk into our courts, you know what to expect. We've also are looking at a study program to look at the Traffic Violations Bureau, and that's headed up by Judge Charles Barrett and Gary Jackson. And last but not least, we will feature our new judges orientation that we have coming up in the fall. And we've had a Superior Court precedent discussion, and I'd like to thank Judge Dusty Hightower for joining that panel. He did a great job. Judge Paige Whitaker and Billy Sparks, and we hope to see you again this fall. But as far as what we're doing, we'd like to thank the Judicial Council. Please, if you need to contact us for any purpose regarding municipal courts and how we can help with your accountability courts or how we can provide any resources for you, please contact me. And that's my report.
Very good, Chief Judge. Thank you for the report. I'll recognize now our State Bar President, Bill Gentry.
Thank you, PJ. I am glad to be here on behalf of the State Bar of Georgia, along with our Executive Director, Damon Elmore, and Director of Government Affairs, Jen McNeely. The rule of law is a high priority for me, and integral to that is judicial security. Y'all have to be able to make decisions without concern for your safety. The State Bar appreciates a strong relationship with y'all. We want you to reach out to us anytime we can be of help to you. I'm going to give you my cell phone number. It's 404-432-2044, and yes, it rings to this phone. Judge Richardson will tell you when I did this with the state court judges in May, my phone rang before I left the podium. I expect it. I want it. Please reach out to me if we can do anything to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, very much. We do have reports from some other judicial branch agencies. When it's your turn, you don't need to go to the podium. Robbie will come to you with the microphone. So, Council of Accountability Court Judges.
Good morning, Presiding Justice, members of the council. I am Chief Judge Cynthia Adams. We stand on our written report. I would like to highlight that we are looking forward to our conference that's coming up in September. And I would like to say a special thank you to the Judicial Council, as well as AOC, especially my namesake, Cynthia Clanton, who has been so supportive over the years. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Judge Adams. Georgia Commission on Dispute Resolution.
Thank you. I am Judge Carrie Markham, the chair of the commission. We will stand on our report. We did want to thank Cynthia Clanton for her support and guidance of our commission, both as director and several years prior as our legal liaison. We wish you all the best.
Thank you, Judge Markham. Chief Justice's Commission on Professionalism.
I'll stand on the report.
Thank you, Carlise. Georgia Council of Court Administrators.
Hi, I'm Lynn Ansley. I'm standing in for President Mosley. We stand on our written report.
Thank you so much. ICJE, do we have anyone?
Just a written report.
Written report. JQC, are we on written report as well?
Written report.
Very good. Georgia Association of Juvenile Court Clerks. Written report? All right. No written report. Okay. Council of Superior Court Clerks.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Erica Woodford, Clerk of Superior Court of Bibb County, Georgia, and the President of the Georgia Council of Superior Court Clerks. We have our Executive Director here as well, Mr. Evan Gross. We are happy to be here, and we stand on our written report. And congratulations, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to actually ask Robbie to go over to the other side because I saw Justice LaGrua come in. She has been out of town and she drove lawfully back to get here in time to say something before we get to old and new business. Oh, we're going to the podium, all right.
Thank you, Presiding Justice Warren, rest of the Judicial Council. I asked for a point of personal privilege, which I don't think I've done in my 16 years on the bench this morning. Cynthia Clanton is an institution in this state. She has served this state, and the AOC has thrived under her leadership like never before. She is a huge loss to all of us. She supported me as president of the Council of Superior Court Judges, as the chair of the Chief Justice's COVID-19 task force, which I thought would meet every 3 months like most committees, met every week for over a year, and her team was there every single week in its entirety. She has supported the Judicial Council Standing Committee on Judicial Security, which has taken a lot of work in its startup. And I know she has supported every single person in this room and every judge across the state of Georgia. Your leadership has been phenomenal. You are irreplaceable. And most importantly, you have been a friend to each of us. And to me, a very special friend. And I just wanted to publicly thank you for everything you have done for every single judge in this entire state for well over a decade. Thank you, Presiding Justice Warren.
Now, we will not have a full open mic night, but I do encourage you to drop Cynthia a letter or speak to her separately and let her know all the appreciation that you have for her. I know I will do that as well. So other than that very important topic, is there any old business? Is there any new business? All right. I have been passed a very controversial note. That note says lunch is ready. So let me tell you the following instructions that are important before we depart. Our next meeting is a general session. It is on Friday, December 11th at 10 a.m. on Zoom. You have that on the slide in front of you, but this is a Zoom meeting in December. Please make sure it's on your calendars. The rest of our meeting agenda is at the bottom, our meeting schedule is at the bottom of the agenda. After we adjourn, we do need members to gather for a picture on the stairs. So this year we're going stairs. It's going to take some organization. We know you can do it. So please meet us on the stairs before you get your lunch. Otherwise, lunch is available in the hall, and there's seating available in various places on the second floor. We are so grateful that you have spent your time with us today. Thank you for the efforts you made to get here. We will adjourn. Thank you.